If you had told me 10 years ago that one day I would declutter my huge assortment of stilettos, various purses for every occasion, and my overstuffed closet, only to start a YouTube channel all about the beauty of a simple, intentional life, I would have laughed in your face. I was a shy, insecure girl who believed that she was unworthy, and I resorted to consumerism to numb the pain that I hid behind the fake smiles on Facebook posts. It's been around 6 years since I accidentally stumbled upon minimalism after reading Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. And at first I decluttered so that I could sell as much as I could to get out of debt. But eventually this led me to feel like a literal weight off my shoulders as I decluttered old habits and vices as well. So today I'm going to share with you 20 plus common items that I no longer own. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't own some of these or that I will never buy some of these things. But really my hope is that this won't be just another decluttering ideas video, and instead I can share with you why I don't have some of these things and how some of these changes have actually changed my life, so that you'll be able to gain a better awareness of your own habits so that you too can gain more peace in your home and your life. And if you are just getting started with minimalism or you want some ideas of what you can declutter in your own home, be sure to check out my Ko-fi page down in the description box where you can access my free printable download that has over 100 ideas to get you started. To get it, you just click on the link in the description box, and when you go to check out, you just put a big ol' fat 0 because it is totally free. So I hope that you enjoy. So first few on this list is hair dryers, hair straighteners, curlers, and heat tools. And this is something that I used to be very big on back when I was in high school. And I used to be addicted to this because I went down the spiral of seeing what was cool at that time, what was trendy at that time, and wanting to fit in, that I ended up doing it every single day, and it left my hair so damaged. It was so frizzy. I would literally walk out on a humid day after having done my hair and having spent so much time and all these products on it and the hairspray and all the things, and it would be so puffy. And I felt so insecure about my own natural hair that I was left doing it every single day, and it was just this never-ending cycle of having to use all these things to make me feel pretty, to fit into that standard. So what I did is I vowed to myself that for a year, I was not going to curl, straighten, do anything heat-wise to my hair. And I learned the lesson that it doesn't matter what hair type you have. Healthy hair is beautiful hair. And also, healthy hair is easier hair to manage. But truthfully, if Dyson were to contact me tomorrow and say, hey, we'll give you a free ear wrap, like, I'm totally down. Dyson, sponsor me any day. This is just something that I'm not gonna spend my money on. I really don't wanna spend a whole lot of time on. It's just, I feel like my natural hair routine, which I have a separate video on that, is so much easier. It's just a lot easier, a lot less time, and a lot less money. The next few on the list as well also kind of encompass saving time, saving money, is I don't have an iron, I don't have an ironing board, and I don't have dry clean only clothes. I used to have dry clean only clothes because I would just, again, buy whatever looked pretty on the shelf and not really think about my particular lifestyle. Especially now I have kids, like, I don't have any business buying dry clean only clothes. I need something that can be easily washed, just tossed in the washing machine. And honestly, I've just never cared to iron my clothes. If I'm gonna have something that is that finicky that requires ironing, I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm probably not gonna wear it because I'm not going to take the time to manage and fiddle with it. Anything that can kind of simplify my life and make me have less things to manage, less things to do, less things to clean, or less steps to cleaning, I'm totally down for that option. So no dry clean, no finicky clothes for me. So the next one is trendy baby stuff, and I actually have a whole entire separate video all about the baby stuff that you don't need and the baby products, because I'm currently about to be 9 months pregnant. And there's so many things that I've learned this third time around that you really don't need. I feel like advertising does such a great job at making moms feel like you need all these things to be a good mom, or if your kids don't have these things, then they're not gonna do well intellectually, or like this thing is going to be the magic fix. And really, even though it seems like it's this eternal phase, it goes so quickly, and babies really don't need as much as marketers want to make us think that they do. If you want to check out that video to see all the list of the things that I mentioned, I'll leave it in the description box below. But okay, the next two. These two things, I do not say it lightly. They have changed the course of my family dramatically. And it's that we do not have a television in our home and we do not have video games. So video games were never something that I was necessarily addicted to. I used to play video games, but it was something that was an issue with my husband and I. I used to work as a nurse, working 12-hour shifts, and I'd come home, he'd be playing video games. I would say hi, and he would do this number. Hey. Like he wouldn't even turn his head, he wouldn't even pause the game to look at me. Let's just describe my day. 12-hour shift, eat dinner alone because he's playing video games, go to bed alone because he's still playing that video, just 5 more minutes, you know, just 5 more minutes. That was something that was causing friction. It was causing difficulty because he was prioritizing this game over me and over our relationship. And eventually, thank God, he decided to get rid of the video games. This was within our first year of marriage, so really, we didn't have it for a whole long time anyway. But the TV was more for our children because once he decided and he recognized this is wrong. I am putting this thing, this box, this material object over the person that I say that I love and prioritize over everybody else. The TV followed because even though we weren't addicted to the TV, we were gonna have children and we didn't want them to grow up with that experience, with prioritizing this box. So many times, the connection that we get in our day tends to be from a screen more so than in person. And I could talk about this topic a lot more. It's been a while since I've actually talked about why I don't have a TV and video games, but truthfully, there's just so much to unpack here. I'm not judging you if you have a TV. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or that it's this evil box. It can certainly be fun. It can certainly bring people together and you can laugh and have a good time. But when you prioritize that, when you get to a point where you can't even pause to say hello to somebody, you got an issue there. For us, we are much happier without it. I tell you, like, we always still had that like in love phase, but once he got rid of the TV, we got rid of the video games, like it feels like even now that we've almost been together 10 years, like I still am in love with my husband. I'm still in that in love honeymoon phase. And I think that you can preserve that. I've actually have a separate video all about that, like little things to do to kind of keep the in love state. But I definitely think that prioritizing the time, which this box, sometimes phones too, can suck up so much, it can make a huge difference. So if you're wanting to take a challenge, just see what it's like. Just put it away in a closet for just a while and see what it does for you. Again, I'm not saying you need to. You know yourself. But for me, it definitely changed our life. Okay, the next few aren't like these major changes, but we don't have wine glasses, shot glasses, and flower vases. First of all, we rarely drink. If we were to, for example, need wine glasses for whatever reason, maybe we have this special event and we have some people over and we want to treat them to something, I can just use a mason jar, or I can just use our stackable cups. Like, we really don't need it, especially for like flower vases. Mason jar, again, it works just fine. I think that when you use multi-purpose items, it can save you from having so much clutter in your home, so much bulk. It's truthfully not necessary. And the next few, buffet tables, TV consoles, armoires, and whatever those China furniture things are called. I don't know, let me know in the comments because I'm at a loss for words there. I used to have this huge king-size bed that had these really big nightstands, and it had this like little chest to put all your clothes in and whatever. And when I started to declutter more and more and more, suddenly I didn't need that. And I was so surprised that when we sold all of that and made some money off of it, thankfully, our room looked so much bigger. Not only that, but when you declutter those big bulky items, that big bulky furniture, it can give you the ability to move furniture around. So it feels like you're redecorating your space, but you're really not actually spending any extra money on that. You may even be able to make money off of it and feel like you have a recently newly decorated space. Okay, the next one, getting back to some more of like the emotional, like harder, deeper stuff, is I don't have academic awards. Not in the sense that I've never received them, in the sense that I decluttered them. And I'm not saying this so that I can be like, yes, he's so smart and whatever, but really just to share the why again, so that maybe if you can relate to having sentimental stuff for a feeling of people pleasing, you might relate to this story. I used to be that girl that would achieve or do things because I was so hungry for love. I felt so worthless. I felt so miserable. I was so depressed. And I thought that if I was smart enough, that if I was pretty enough, if I did well enough, then maybe I would be deserving of love. The reason that I got rid of my bachelor's diploma is because I recognized seeing it on my wall was really just to show people, look at my diploma, look at how big it is, look at how shiny it is. It wasn't for me. It really wasn't something that filled me, and it was out of people pleasing. The whole trying to strive to get the straight A's, to get the perfect grade. I'm not saying that those things are bad or that I regret having tried to work hard, and I developed a really good work ethic. I'll give myself that. But the underlying reason about how I felt about myself, that is why I decided I was going to get rid of it, because I know that all those awards meant nothing to me. So just to prove a point that people-pleasing never works, when I was graduating from college, my family kept complaining the entire time about how far they had to drive. It was a 3-hour drive to get there, and mind you, I was the first person in the family to graduate with a bachelor's degree. Now, by that time, thankfully, I really didn't care if they went because it was for me. But if I had continued with my people-pleasing behavior, I would have been absolutely crushed, and it might have affected the trajectory of what I chose to do from then on. But I say this because by then, I'm like, I know my family. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes validation can feel like love. And if you struggle with people pleasing, maybe you want to evaluate if you have relationships that can only accept you if you present a certain side of you. Evaluate your behaviors with them and maybe those relationships as well. But I mean, take this advice with a grain of salt because I am no therapist. I'm just somebody who's been there, done that. People pleasing does not work. So I got rid of a lot of things that I did only out of people pleasing. And the next one kind of relates to that is experimental skincare and makeup. I still love makeup, but it's very, 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 very simplified. I have a whole lot less than I used to. I used to have this huge chest of makeup and the fake lashes and the wing liner and the contour, the whole full contour face makeup. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either, but the reason why I had it is because, again, I felt unworthy. I felt like if I didn't look a certain way, I wasn't worthy of love. I wasn't beautiful enough. I didn't fit in, or, I was just trying to do it to fill this void inside of me because I didn't love myself. Same thing with the diploma. Same thing with the whole clothes and all the other things that I had. They weren't because I was using them as a self-expression or because simply I was happy with them. I was doing it out of insecurity. When I got rid of those things, I started just same thing with my hair, focusing on me being healthy, me loving me, being healthy inside and outside, in a physical way and in a spiritual way. I was better. I was so much happier. I was the happiest I've ever been because now, if I buy something, it's because I enjoy it, because it brings me joy, not because I think that I need it to make someone else happy or to make someone see me in a certain way. Also, something that I think that kind of happened by consequence is that by paring down the products that I use to just a few, my skin did a whole lot better. I feel like I look healthier and younger than I used to back then because I would put so much makeup on that I honestly think was aging me and making me break out. And then with the breakouts, then I need more makeup to cover up those things. And my skin was just angry and inflamed. And now that I don't use those things, I feel like I have healthier skin. And the next few is fitness trackers, watches, and bracelets. Really what you see that I have as far as jewelry in every video, if you look back, it's the same thing. Like I'm wearing the same thing because I never take off my jewelry. It's what I have. Like I don't have this chest of jewelry or this like jewelry box anymore. I'm at a point where I just want simplicity. I want to focus on loving my family and doing meaningful work and not having to worry about all the little details. So now the things that I have are the things that I love and that will last me a whole lot longer rather than just constantly thinking about the next thing that I need and the next thing that's going to make me feel good and that's going to work with my closet. And now I'm going to need this other thing to match that other bracelet or the other pair of earrings or the never-ending cycle of purchases. I call it the domino purchase effect, where you purchase one thing and then, like, let's say you purchased a patio table, and because you purchased the patio table, now you need new chairs, and now because you have the new chairs, you need a new umbrella, and now because you have the new umbrella, now you need a new mat, or, you know, like, I just want to avoid that. If something breaks, then I'm either going to try to fix it or get something similar to that. But with the fitness trackers, there was a specific reason why I got rid of that. My husband, who's so kind, he gifted me the Apple Watch, and he thought it would be a really beautiful birthday present. I hated it. I hated it. I felt like I was constantly attached to a phone, when usually I try to, like, leave my phone somewhere, and you can silence the little dings and whatever, but it's still this screen grabbing for your attention, keeping you away from other things or conversations or from people. It's not something that I wanted for myself. So again, not a bad thing. You can use it to, you know, track your fitness and be healthier for it. But the more I can be separate from technology, the healthier I am, I feel like, spiritually, emotionally, because I can be fully present. And it's hard to be present nowadays because there's screens everywhere. Like, I walked into a grocery store recently that had TVs, so that as you're shopping, like, you can see these huge TVs, and I'm like, telling my husband, I hate coming here. I do not want to bring my children here because we're going down the grocery store, and they're just like, oh. I'm like, now it's just like, we can't even go to the grocery store and be present at the grocery store and, like, just smell the smells and see people and say hi to people. Now it's just, now we even go to the grocery store and have to, like, stare at screens. Oh my goodness. Again, technology is not a bad thing, but I feel like it's really, really easy to get addicted to it because it's everywhere. So being that it's everywhere, the last thing I want is for it to be, like, stuck to my body. And the last thing that I have on the list is toasters, mini ovens, and just kind of specialty cooking and bakeware. These are things that I used to have. All of the above. I used to have all of the above. And I had, like, the waffle maker and the cake pop maker and a whole bunch of these things that I thought would just, I don't know, make me a good cook, make me a good hostess with the mostest. And they were just more to clean, more clutter to keep track of, and more to manage. So once I really simplified my kitchen, I think that it made me actually enjoy cooking more because it was just easier. It was easier to find things. It was easier to clean things. And if you hate cooking, because I used to say I hated cooking with a passion, I just dare you to declutter your kitchen because it will make a huge difference. It will make it a lot less work, and it'll also be a lot easier to actually get to your stuff without all the Tupperware falling on you every time you open the cabinet door, or you trying to figure out, like, what lid goes with what, because I have so many things that I don't even know. So anything that I can do to simplify my life, I'm totally down for that. I hope that you've found this list valuable. It's not me saying that any of these things are bad or that they're evil, but they're just things that have really simplified my life, that have really improved my life. So I hope you found it helpful. If you have any ideas of your own, anything that you have decluttered that has helped you in your own life, please be sure to share it in the comments below so that we can all help each other out. And for my current subscribers, I almost forgot to mention, Ko-fi is where you're going to find a little bit more of my content going forward in the next few weeks and months, especially because I am soon to have a baby. This time for me, I think is a really, really beautiful time because my first postpartum experience, I was so mean to myself. It was just really difficult on an emotional level. And then my next time around, I was really a lot nicer. I was a lot more self-aware. This time, I just want to soak it in. I just want to soak it in and just live the experience. But more than that, honestly, I've been doing YouTube for a while that I really feel like I need a break from all social media. If you've been around my channel, you'll know that I don't have any other social media like the Instagram and the Facebook and the Twitter and whatever else there is out there. But even then, as I'm creating content, it still requires me to work with social media, to watch other content creators, see their titles, see what works for them, whatever, all those sorts of things. And it can be a lot of noise, trying to listen to all the gurus and the things that I should check on my checkboxes and how I can be a more disciplined individual and all these things that I need to do and the things that I need to say or how I need to be or how I need to dress or the things that I should own in my home. There's so much noise with social media. It's not a bad thing. It can definitely be good. But I think that sometimes I rely on people's voices and all the gurus and all the advice and whatever and all the self-development that I forget how to listen to my own voice, the intuition or the Holy Spirit, and I look more towards those sources than reading my Bible or just being still, being quiet, being present. So I want to just slow down, be more present, and just soak up this experience. I definitely view birth as the caterpillar going into the chrysalis and then emerging this butterfly. So it's definitely a birth for my child, but it's a rebirth for me because I go down in Maslow's hierarchy and I'm like starting over anew. And as I'm doing that, though, what I didn't realize that a caterpillar, to become a butterfly, has to turn to liquid within the chrysalis. So it's an incredibly vulnerable time. And so during this time, I definitely want to just love up on myself, listen to my body, and just soak it in. Just be present instead of constantly trying to rush to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next thing. So if I am posting things, little updates, things here and there, it will definitely be on my Ko-fi page. But otherwise, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from YouTube. So I hope to see you there.